Welcome to the podcast Conversations with Kelly, and welcome back to the series, The Courts of Heaven Are in Session, where the accusations of the adversary are exposed and the authority of the blood of Jesus Christ is enforced. Today's case is the case against fear.
In the realm where spiritual battles are tried and verdicts shape destinies, one truth stands above every accusation. The courts of heaven are in session. The veil has been torn, access has been granted, and now every believer can come boldly before the throne of grace. This is your summons to rise, to listen, and to stand in the authority God has already given you. Here, we expose the enemy's claims, confront every lie, and present heaven's evidence on your behalf. Prepare your spirit, because your case is about to shift, your verdict is about to change, and breakthrough is already in motion. This is The Courts of Heaven Are in Session with Attorney Kelly J. Adams.
In the court of heaven, the enemy is presenting his argument, claiming that because of anxiety, intimidation, worry, and anticipation of harm, that he has the right to paralyze obedience, torment the mind, and steal peace. But hear me clearly. Fear is not your protector. Fear is not your identity. Fear is not your portion. Peace is your portion. Courage is your inheritance. Faith is your covenant. Today, we confront fear and legally overturn every accusation attached to it. Fear is faith placed in the wrong direction. Fear sounds like, what if it goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? What if I lose? What if I lose control? What if God doesn't come through for me? Fear manifests as anxiety, worry, avoidance, procrastination, intimidation, emotional paralysis, sleeplessness. And fear often enters in through trauma, loss, uncertainty, anticipation of harm, past failure. And fear does not protect, it imprisons. Fear shows up in our everyday life more than we truly understand. In our obedience, it delays what God has asked you to do because you're afraid. What if I fail? What if I didn't hear God right? In faith, believing worst case scenarios over God's promises, having a real concern or fear that God won't do something for you or that his promises don't apply to you. In relationships, avoiding honesty to prevent rejection, avoiding conversations to avoid a disagreement, concerned or fearful that a disagreement will turn into leaving or abandonment. In calling, shrinking back instead of stepping forward. In decision-making, choosing comfort over obedience, afraid to do something that you've never done before. In prayer, praying small because you expect little. In leadership, fearing failure more than disobedience. In peace, living on edge instead of resting in God. Fear often feels logical, but it simply cancels faith. And if we're honest, we have partnered with fear by entertaining worry, anticipating negative outcomes, making decisions from anxiety, avoiding obedience, trusting fear over God. And our adversary, the enemy, when he sees this, when he understands that fear has captured us, he goes before God, accusing us, saying, see, they worry, they anticipate harm, they hesitate, they avoid obedience, they believe fear, they are afraid. I have been successful, and so I have a legal right to torment them. His intent is clear. It's always the same. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy, to paralyze obedience and steal peace. Let me make this argument. First, I'll acknowledge that the adversary is correct in this. Yes, we have worried. Yes, we have anticipated harm. Yes, we have hesitated. And yes, we've avoided obedience. Yes, we have allowed fear to guide our decisions. However, the sacrifice of Jesus is not in vain. The blood that was shed on Calvary paid the full price for fear, anxiety, intimidation, and torment. It strips Satan of every legal right he claims to have to make torment in our minds. Father, your word says that God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And through the cross, the enemy was disarmed. Through the resurrection, his authority was publicly stripped. And what Satan is attempting to do now is not lawful. The access is not lawful. It is a trespass. And because we are believers, we have received the grace of the cross, and because we are covered by the blood of Jesus Christ, Satan must stop. Therefore, every claim rooted in fear is illegal. Every accusation fueled by anxiety is dismissed. Every agreement with intimidation is broken. Righteous judge, withdraw Satan's claim of rights concerning fear. Issue a cease and desist order against anxiety, worry, and intimidation. Restore peace, courage, and faith. Strengthen our hearts to obey without fear. Reestablish confidence in God's protection. We renounce fear. We break agreement with anxiety. We choose faith. We trust God's protection. We walk in courage and peace. If you have made these declarations and come out of agreement with fear, I want to leave with you a few scriptures. 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. Psalm 56:3. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. Heaven has heard our petition today. Fear has been dismantled. Peace has been restored. Stand firm. Walk boldly. Trust the God who goes before you. Court is adjourned.